That is impossible. We need detailed preparation.
The timing will never be perfect.
The year is 1939. As Hitler's Nazi party invades Poland from the west, Stalin's Soviet Union invades from the east, tearing the country and countless lives in two. In the ensuing chaos, a young Polish officer named Janusz Weszczak is captured. He's brought into a cold, dark room for interrogation. They want him to sign a confession, a list of lies, crimes he never committed. He refuses. So they bring in their final, most cruel weapon, his wife. Tortured, broken, she is forced to testify against him. To end her suffering, Janusz signs the paper. He is sentenced and shipped to the brutal heart of the Soviet Empire, a gulag in the frozen wasteland of Siberia. It is 1940. As he and other prisoners step into the compound, the warden greets them with a chilling speech. "We will not stop you with weapons if you try to escape," he says. "We won't need to. Your real prison is the untamable nature of Siberia itself. The snow will kill you. The wolves in the forest will kill you. And if you survive that, the locals will kill you for the bounty on your heads, dead or alive." Their heads are shaved. They are given thin, useless jackets. That night, Janusz watches as an old man drops a precious piece of bread. A starving prisoner lunges for it, but the old man stomps on it, snatching it back and eating it himself. Seeing the shock on Janusz's face, the old man, an American named Mr. Smith, gives him a harsh lesson.
Kindness. That can kill you here.
Kindness, he rasps, will get you killed here. That little bit of mercy you have, it will be your death sentence. Days bleed into a monotonous gray of absolute suffering. The work is soul-crushing, hacking away at the frozen earth in the mines, their bodies aching, their lungs filled with choking dust. Food is a constant, gnawing obsession, a currency more valuable than gold. Men trade their wedding rings for a crust of bread, their dignity for an extra spoonful of watery soup. Janusz learns the unspoken rules. Never make eye contact with a guard, never show weakness to an Urka, and never ever trust a man who smiles too much. He sees men simply give up, their eyes turning hollow, their spirits extinguished long before their bodies follow. He vows to himself in the frozen darkness that this will not be his fate. Later, another man approaches Janusz. "Stalin doesn't like foreigners here," he says, introducing himself as Kabarov, a Polish actor sentenced for appearing in a film the Soviets deemed subversive. Janusz learns his own sentence is 20 years. Inside the barracks, they see the true rulers of the prison, a gang of violent criminals called the Urkas. They are given special privileges by the guards, allowed to murder other prisoners with total impunity. Valka, their brutal enforcer, kills a man for his sweater, a simple debt payment to his boss. The next day, working in the forest, Janusz stares out at the endless silent trees, the dream of escape already taking root in his mind. Back in the barracks, Habavrov pulls him aside. He whispers of a plan. He knows a way out, through a friend who helped design the camp. The destination? South, 500 kilometers to a great lake called Baikal. Then follow a railway to the Mongolian border. Freedom. But, he insists, they must wait for spring. The winter is too deadly. Janusz wants to bring friends, but Habavrov warns him the journey is too hard. Janusz's response is simple and powerful. It is better to die a free man than to die in this prison. A brutal blizzard hits while they are working, a wall of white that blinds them and steals the air from their lungs. The guards, fearing the storm as much as the prisoners, order them to lie on the ground. But Mr. Smith refuses. "If we stay here, we will die in an hour," he declares, his voice cutting through the wind, and begins walking towards the forest. The guards threaten to shoot, but seeing his unwavering defiance, they relent and order everyone into the trees. There, Janusz and his small group of friends build a makeshift shelter. For this act of initiative, they are punished with the most dangerous job, working in the mines.
We're for the mines.
The darkness and despair become unbearable. Janusz nearly walks into a guard's rifle, lost in a hallucination of his home. But Mr. Smith pulls him back from the brink. Janusz tells Smith about Habadrov's plan. Smith scoffs. The actor, he's a liar. He's been here for years, telling that same story to every new prisoner. He feeds on their hope to survive. He will never leave. Janusz asks him, "Do you want to escape, Mr. Smith?" The old American agrees, but on one condition. "I need you," he says. "I need that kindness you have. If something happens to me on the road, I will have to depend on you."
Kindness. Anything happens to me, I'm counting on you carrying.
That night, Janusz confronts Habarov. "We escape tonight," he says. "The snow will cover our tracks." Habarov panics, making excuses about food and planning. Janusz realizes Mr. Smith was right. Habarov is a fraud. As Janusz walks away, Valka, the killer, emerges from the shadows. He has heard everything. The escape team is assembled. Janusz, the leader, Mr. Smith, the cynic, Voss, a Latvian priest, Zoran, a Yugoslavian accountant, Tomasz, a Polish artist, and Tazik, a young man with night blindness. They gather their meager supplies. Then, Valka appears, a knife in his hand.
Small debt. They take fingers.
"I'm coming with you," he growls. "I have debts here. They will kill me. You need my knife." Janusz has no choice but to agree. The power cuts for 10 minutes just as planned. The 7 of them crawl under the wire fence and run. They run into the blinding snow, the sounds of dogs and guards fading behind them. They are free, but their journey into hell has just begun. Deep in the forest they stop. Kazik, lost and blind in the storm, has wandered off. They search, but find his frozen body the next morning. The first casualty. The reality of their quest hits them like a physical blow. They gather their food. Janusz notices Valka is wearing Habarov's clothes and has his food supplies. "He was going to betray you," Valka says coldly. "I solved the problem." Mr. Smith whispers to Janusz, "You have made a deal with the devil." They walk for weeks. The snow finally melts and spring arrives, painting the forest in shades of green they had forgotten existed. With it comes a new torment, swarms of mosquitoes that descend upon them in thick, black clouds. They are starving, their bodies wasting away. Zoran, the accountant, becomes a dead weight, too weak to hunt. Tomasz, the artist, snaps at him, the stress fraying their bonds. "You are useless," he screams. "You do nothing but eat." The group's fragile unity begins to crack. It is in this moment of desperation that they see a pack of wolves take down a deer. In a primal, unified act, they scream and charge at the wolves, scaring them away and stealing their kill. They have become animals themselves to survive. They reach the shores of Lake Baikal, a vast inland sea. Here they see a girl watching them. It's Irena, a young Polish refugee. She says she escaped a Russian farm where she was tortured. Valka is suspicious, calling her a spy. But Janusz, seeing his wife in her eyes, insists she join them. They find a deer carcass trapped in the mud, a feast sent from heaven. They celebrate, and Irena officially joins their broken family. They clean themselves, preparing for their entry into Mongolia as free people, not escaped convicts.
Okay, come on. You're next.
They cross the frozen lake, a dangerous trek on thin ice. Later, Irena confesses to Mr. Smith. Her parents weren't killed by the Russians. They were communists who were arrested as spies. She was sent to an orphanage where her brother died. She made up the story so they would take her in. They finally reach the Mongolian border, but Valka stops. He cannot leave Russia, his motherland, even if it is his prison. He says his goodbyes and turns back, a lone figure walking back into the wilderness he understands. The rest of the group celebrates their arrival in Mongolia, only to discover a horrifying truth. Mongolia is now a communist state. Their journey was for nothing. They are still in danger. Their only hope now is a place free from both Soviets and Germans, India. But to get there, they must cross the most brutal obstacle yet, the Gobi Desert, and then the Himalayas. The desert is a furnace. The sun is a relentless, unblinking eye. Water becomes their only god. Days into the crossing, their water is nearly gone. Their minds begin to play tricks on them. Mr. Smith, his eyes wild with thirst, points to the horizon. "A tree," he croaks. "I see a tree. Where there is a tree, there is water." Janusz knows it's a mirage, a cruel trick of the heat. But the others, desperate, start to run towards it. They reach the spot and find nothing but sand. The hope drains from their faces, replaced by a crushing, silent despair. They find a well, but they know they cannot stay. They fill their containers, and march south into the endless sand. A sandstorm hits, and they lose precious water. The desert begins to claim its victims. Irena collapses from sunstroke and dehydration. She dies in Janusz's arms. They bury her, their hearts turning to stone. Soon after, Tomasz's feet are too swollen to walk. He sits down, accepts his fate, and they are forced to leave him behind. The four survivors, Janusz, Smith, Voss, and Zoran, are mere skeletons, ghosts walking through a nightmare. They finally reach the edge of the desert and find a small stream. They have survived, but now they face the Himalayas. They climb, their bodies screaming in protest. They are found by a Tibetan monk who leads them to a monastery. They are given food, shelter, and kindness. They are told they have reached India. They are free. They cross into the country and are welcomed as heroes. But their paths diverge. Voss goes to a seminary. Zoran goes to the city. Mr. Smith plans to return to America. And Janusz cannot go home. Poland is still under Soviet control. Decades pass. The world changes. In 1989, the Soviet Union finally collapses. Janusz, now an old man, afterwards to his home in Warsaw. He walks down a street he has only seen in his dreams for 50 years. He opens a door, and there she is. His wife, old and gray, but she waited. His impossible 6,500-kilometer walk was finally over. If this incredible story of the human spirit moved you, let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more tales of survival.